Hello, movie patient, and welcome to Film Therapy. I am Brienne, also known as Miss Movies, also known as your film therapist. I am not a real therapist, but I play one on the internet just for this show. And as with every session of film therapy, I have a guest patient. And my guest patient today is Mr. Greg Alba. Hello, Greg Alba.
Hello, Brian.
Thank you
Miss
for
Movies.
for waking up so early
I'm awake.
to be here. Because what is your normal awake time? What's your normal awake
My
time?
goal every day is close enough.
Yeah,
I
you're
know my
good.
problem last time I was
Okay.
talking down here. Um, my goal every day is to wake up by 9. I usually succeed by 10 to 10:30. It's kind of a lie.
Okay.
Sometimes
Okay.
it's 11. Yeah.
Wow. I love your life. I
Well,
wish I had it. What time do you go to
I
bed?
still work like 8 hours a day though.
Yeah.
So I don't have like a set schedule.
Right. You don't have a specific start time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which can really screw me when like a huge
Yes.
trailer drops at like 7 in the morning.
Mhm.
Everyone's like, "Where's your trailer review?" Yeah. Yeah. What time do I usually go to bed? I
Mhm.
usually lay down before 1,
Okay.
and then I struggle to fall asleep for about 2 hours
Okay.
on average.
Okay.
Yesterday it took about 2. I got in bed by 12. I didn't fall asleep till like around 2.
Is that because you're on your phone, like scrolling
It
around?
usually starts off where I'm on my phone for a little bit,
Okay.
but then I start getting like racing thoughts, and I just, especially when I got to get up early,
Yeah.
because then I started thinking about how I'm not going to have enough sleep. Like today I was like, all right, Brienne is like an hour away, so wake up by 8:30, no later. And I
Yeah.
just kept thinking, if I don't wake up by 8:30, I'm screwed. So
An hour away, yet only 12 miles away.
Yeah.
But if you have never joined us for film therapy, it's working a little bit different today. What? Oh
Ah!
no. Oh no. So normally what I do is I ask 3 questions. Yes, I like to do that
Yeah.
sometimes. Change it up.
Look how comfortable we
I
are.
ask 3 questions about film, and usually those same 3 questions each time. Those 3 questions are normally what's a film that inspires you, what's a film or a scene from a film that triggers a memory, maybe it's happy or painful, and what is a film that helps you through difficult times. But we are not doing that today.
Hmm.
No,
No.
no, today, Greg has brought some films that are important to him, and he's going to share
Change.
those
We
with
hate
us.
change.
Michael, this is going to be great, Michael. So, and maybe if he can think of a problem he's having right now, at the end, I'll do a movie prescription for you. We'll see.
All
Well, I
right.
kind of threw that on you, so I don't know if that'll happen.
I have minor improv background, so
Okay.
let's do
Okay.
this.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So 3 films at least. At the minimum, we're doing 3 films, maybe more depending, because you had mentioned you had 5 you were interested in talking about and their significance to you.
Yeah.
But we'll see what we get to.
I can stick to 3.
Okay.
Let's treat.
Keep it structured.
All right.
Save some for
Do
another
I
time.
just list my 3, or do we
No,
do
we're
like
gonna go one by one.
just bam, bam, bam? All right. Live
before
stream
we
done.
before we get to that, how do I know you? How do we know each other? Who
Oh,
are you? All
yeah,
that great stuff. Where are you from? Aside from an hour away slash
yeah.
12 miles.
I'm an LA native. I was born in Los Angeles, and I've always wanted to get involved in the film business somehow, whether that be actor or writer or background player or
Mhm.
set decorator or whatever, as long as I'm in something related. And we met because I think I actually found you and Stacy ages ago, and I messaged
Yes.
you guys on Twitter. We were supposed to have a collab.
Oh yeah, like way long
Yeah,
ago.
never happened.
That was like maybe when you were still doing Ryan Wright.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then at Collider Videos, you came up
that's
to
right.
John and
Hmm.
I was like, "Oh yeah." And then
I remember her.
and now we're friends.
We are.
Now we're friends, and here we are, joining in celebration.
Yes. Because you
So
have a channel called
oh
The
yeah,
Real
yeah. That's
Rejects.
what I'm supposed to be here to say. Yeah, I have a channel called The Real Rejects. It's a YouTube channel.
It's early. It's early for you.
It's early, but I need to be waking up earlier. I do.
Hmm.
It's been like I'm good at hitting goals. The goal I suck the most at is getting on a good sleep schedule.
This morning, now I have to take my kids to school. So this morning, the girls next door came over at 7:45, and I was like, "Ladies,
Wow.
ladies, we don't leave for school till 8. I'm not leaving this house until 8. And then my daughter's like,
Wow.
I want to go with them. So then she just left. And I was like, okay, you can go, but I'm not leaving till 8. So then I met them later at school. They had a parent with them, so it was all good. It was
Hey,
all
look what
good.
Laura said about me.
What did she
Happy
say?
to see Greg, a sweetheart if
Oh,
there ever was one.
that's
Aw,
nice, Laura.
Laura.
So nice.
We need a better profile picture of you, Laura.
It's tiny.
It's tiny. It's tiny. Come on, we gotta see what you look like, homie. Anyway, let's not
Anyway,
hit on random girls
okay,
on the
let's not.
internet. Yeah.
So let's get to your first film that you brought.
All
What
right.
did you bring?
My first film that I brought. I would say the earliest film, you know what? This I actually didn't write this down, but it's the one that comes to heart was Carrie, the Sissy
Whoa.
Spacek movie.
Okay, that's so crazy you
What
say
was
that.
your question exactly so I can make sure
My
I'm
question
leading with the
was
right
my
point?
my question was just bring me 3 films that have an importance to you. So
Carrie.
why is Carrie what is the importance of Carrie to you?
Carrie led me down a very big fantasy route in my life. There was something about the age that I saw it at and not really knowing how to talk to girls at the time. I still don't. I don't make eye contact. And then when when I saw that movie, and when you see Sissy Spacek in that movie, she's not ugly, but she's
Yeah.
so bullied. I mean, she's not like generic, genetic. She's not generically like the hottest actress
Right.
of that time, but she's still pretty in her own way.
Mhm.
And then I felt really bad for her, and I felt like I became more drawn after that to the girls who aren't like Miss Popular or Miss All Made Up or whatever. I'm like
Mm.
I became more drawn to the more vulnerable type of women. I don't know. That could be something with my mom or
Cuz you
whatever,
thought
but
maybe they're going through a lot of shit.
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I
Maybe they
want to
need
be
someone to
nice to
help
those
them with
kind of
that.
girls. Yeah, that the movie exposed me to. That was like my first movie that actually exposed me to what bullying is,
Hmm.
and bullying and to females especially. I like it was just, after that I found myself really drawn to films that were about like defending women. Now we're in a day and age where like women defend themselves, but in that day and age I was really drawn to that type of character because I
Mhm.
would fantasize like, well, when I'm in high school, I'm gonna be the kind of guy that dates that kind of girl. Before
Yeah.
everyone realized she has like telepathic abilities to kill people, or telekinetic, and yeah, so that's why it was very impactful to me because it gave me a different perspective. I took my approach to this question with what helped change my perspective on things.
Okay.
And that did help change my perspective. I found myself more drawn to like the vulnerable type of woman, someone who's not typical. Yeah.
When did you see the movie Carrie? How old were
God, I
you? Do
must
you
have been
know?
like 8 years old when I
Okay.
saw Carrie. Yeah.
Because if you're saying like, oh, I'm gonna date girls like her in high school, then it must have been
Yeah,
before high
I was
school.
definitely at least maybe fourth or fifth grade.
Okay.
Yeah, my parents didn't censor me from anything.
Were you a latchkey kid? Is that the reason?
A latchkey kid? What is this
Yes.
word?
A latchkey kid means you have a key to the house. After school, you walk home and you are at home
Oh
alone.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, totally. Oh my
Okay.
god, yeah.
So then it's like,
I
I
was
can
left
put
home
on
alone. Yeah, I
Carrie.
was. My dad would just play Carrie. He loved that
Okay.
movie. Yeah,
Okay.
that was a
I
very
feel like
impactful film.
that's the difference between my personal experience as a girl
Uh huh.
versus a guy's personal experience with movies because like my parents were like, you're not going to watch that, you're not going to watch that.
Yeah,
Some things they were okay with me watching, like I saw Dirty Dancing when I was maybe in first or second grade,
that's
and
appropriate.
my older sister who was like in sixth grade was like, how come she gets to watch it and I don't? And my mom said,
Aw.
it's because she's not going to know what's going on, whereas you're going to know what's going on.
Right.
And
Okay.
she's totally right. Because later, when I watched it in high school, I was like, I really had no idea that there was an abortion in this movie. Like, who
Oh
knew?
yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I get it. I feel like I was really censored, from film.
Fascinating. I
But
wasn't. I saw Showgirls when I was 6.
oh, okay, wow.
That is not on the list today. Yeah.
It's so interesting that you bring up Carrie because I was thinking of Carrie this morning.
The
Actually, I was.
1976 version, people,
Oh
just so we're
yes,
clear.
good. Okay, good, good. I didn't
Yeah.
see. I didn't see the remake. Um, I do like. What's her name? Chloe.
Oh yeah, the 2013 one. Yeah,
Yeah.
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do like her. But I was thinking of Carrie this morning because I was thinking of It. I just saw It this
Mm-hmm.
past weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it's okay. I was okay with it. Like I didn't
Okay.
find it scary. I was like, I will probably watch this again at some point. Like maybe not in theaters, but I'll definitely check it out again.
Yeah.
And someone wrote an article about like what they thought was a really scary part of the film that is overlooked because you're looking at something else and you're not focusing on what's happening in the background. And so they pointed that out. This was on I think Birth Movies Death just came out with this article.
Okay.
So it's a part of the library scene for those that are looking for it. And I'm assuming you've seen the movie.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. I was thinking about Stephen King in general. I was like, I just don't like Stephen King movies. I think that's what it
Yeah, a lot
is.
of them are really
And I was like,
bad.
but I do like what I consider diet Stephen King movies, such as Carrie.
Yeah.
I also have liked Christine and The Shining,
I,
although The Shining is supposed to not really be to the
you
text,
see
and
that
people get
that's the
upset about
thing with
that.
Stephen King movies is
Mhm.
they're better when they usually deviate from the source material.
Could
Stephen
be.
King's just a
He's very
weird, and
strange.
there's things that are left out of it that I
Oh yeah.
won't talk about
Oh
in
yeah.
this
There's
live
bad
stream.
stuff.
There's some
There's
like
bad stuff.
crazy stuff in the book.
Um, and Maximum Overdrive, I appreciate on a comedic level, because it's so bad.
Yeah, that's a funny
But there's
film.
so many that I'm like, that is just too weird. That what was it like Dreamweaver or some like
Dreamcatcher.
Dreamcatcher was
I
so bad. I
That
was
is
just like,
the
why am I
only
watching
Stephen
this?
King book I read.
Oh, and how was the book?
It's awful. But
Okay.
I was like, the trailer looks cool though.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go check it out. And it was worse
Yeah.
than the book.
And I
Yeah.
did read Carrie as a book, and
Oh.
then I saw the movie.
Is it really different from the movie?
Not much
Okay.
from what I remember, but I read it young, and sometimes I don't know if my comprehension was great back then.
Gotcha.
So who knows? I
Gotcha.
could read like articles that are like comparing and contrasting, and I'm sure I'd be like, I don't remember that at all. But yeah,
I like
so
I
Stephen
like the
King.
comment here.
Okay, tell me.
King claims to have been in a blackout while writing the preteen orgy scene.
You
Well,
know
maybe he
what?
was in a blackout while writing it. He
Maybe
could
the
have
editor,
deleted
yeah. Where's the
it.
editor on that? That's like, you know what, Steven? I really think that
Yeah.
maybe this should be different. I
Yeah.
mean, okay, I don't get it. But
Oh, Steven.
so yeah, I was thinking about him, and then it deviates to other people that I don't like. That I try to like their film. See, I try to like his movies. I watch.
Okay.
I give him a chance. Just like that motherfucker that I can't stand, Judd Apatow. I can't
You don't
stand
like
any of
Judd
his
Apatow?
films.
You don't like Judd Apatow? Well, Judd
I
Apatow's
try.
way more
I
dude
try all
centric.
the
Yeah.
time. I'm like, I really want to see that movie, and then it's like I'm always disappointed.
Oh, you don't even like Knocked Up? Katherine
No,
Heigl's favorite film of all time?
oh, no,
No? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
it's okay. It's okay.
I could see Judd Apatow being quite annoying to people.
As a producer, though,
He's a great
better
producer.
better
He's a
producer
great
than
producer.
director writer to me.
Well, when he directs, he's just like, you guys just improvise and we'll edit it. That's how he does all his films. Yeah. So his comedies are like 2.5 hours long all the time.
Mhm.
That's him.
I don't need to watch This Is 40. I can live This Is 40.
That's a depressing
close.
film.
Funny people, not funny, right, Michael? Not funny.
I gotta say something really quick before we move on. I
Mhm.
saw Funny People at an advanced screening about a year before it came out. Hilarious, way better than the actual cut they put out.
Oh.
As I saw that cut, then I saw another cut later, and then they went with the cut I saw later. And when the one I saw first, people were dying of laughter the whole time. Why are movies that have like positive words in the titles always like so dark?
That's true. Like
Pers-
Happy Texas. Although I haven't seen
Yeah.
Happy Texas. So I don't know.
Like,
But I've heard it's pretty
yeah.
dark.
Even Happy Feet gets
Sunshine
depressing.
Cleaning.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Pursuit of Happiness. At least they're saying it's
that was
Pursuit.
pretty good.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
pretty
good.
pretty
But
sad.
yes, it was dark. It's
yeah,
sadness.
Wonderland. I feel like most movies that have like positive titles
Wow.
are probably going to be a dark movie.
Oh my gosh.
And if a movie has the word American in it, then it's
You're
about
screwed.
corruption.
You're screwed.
Yeah.
Let's move to the next movie that
Sure.
has significance for you.
Sure.
Mhm.
I would go with You know what? I said I talked about this movie last time I was here. I'm gonna cross this off my list. I have extras just in case.
Okay, okay.
I'm gonna go with a movie that I don't think a lot of people will put this on their lists for movies that moved them or meant something to them.
Mhm.
This is one of those like artsy action films, but I actually identified with it. It was the movie Drive, starring my homeboy Ryan
Ryan
the Gosling.
Gosling.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Did you not like it?
I liked it. I liked Drive. I liked Nicholas Winding Refn. I
Mm-hmm.
really appreciated Neon Demon as well. I know people hated Neon Demon.
He's a specific director.
Yes, I
Yeah.
got to see the Q&A with him after Neon Demon, and it was pretty interesting. And how like he told us this story, how at the first screening of Neon Demon was maybe at con. I don't know. I don't remember where.
Okay.
But like at the end, it like says for blank, like for his wife. I don't know her name, like for Laura or something. We'll
Okay.
use Laura because she's in the chat. And someone, he's like, the first thing I hear after it shows that final thing for Laura is "fuck you, Laura."
Oh wow.
And I was just like,
Oh,
oh man.
poor Laura.
But I don't know her name. Anyways, Drive.
Yeah. You know, I've never loved a Wind and Refn movie as much as Drive. I've
Mhm.
seen like Valhalla Rising. I've seen like, but Drive was my first. Here's my experience with Drive. Okay, I had never seen a Ryan Gosling movie up until that point. The only movie I saw before that was
The
like The
Notebook.
Notebook. Yeah, that's
Okay.
it. And then he
Yes.
like got really popular with some indie drama films after that.
Okay.
And I never saw them. I just didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care to see this pretty boy. And then I saw
Sure.
that's all I thought he was after The Notebook.
Mhm.
And then I saw Drive, and specifically at that time in my life, it came out a few years ago, and at that time in my life I identify with characters like a Dexter from the show Dexter, like when
Okay.
they would say like I feel
The
empty.
anti-hero in
Yeah,
a way.
that's me. Yeah, no, I've identified with the emptiness and the loneliness, and what that film I love that, I feel smart when I can pick up on movies that are about body language more than
Right?
dialogue.
Because he has very few
Yeah,
lines.
very few lines. But I was gravitated towards his character, his performance, because you could see that this guy was a really empty, lonely dude who could be provoked with like the anger could come out of him more easily than any other emotion, and what could motivate him was love for a woman, and that was like very much translated into my life. It's very primal, but it
Mhm.
also I really identify with that at that specific time, like the that elevator scene when he smashes that guy's head
Yes.
in, that like the most talked about scene. I love that scene. Not just because
I
it's like
turned away.
you turned away. It's
I
gory. It's really
it
just
was
it is gory. It is like whoa,
it's like I can't
but
either that or
I love yeah, I know what you
the
mean. A lot of people were freaking out in the theater. I don't think anyone saw that scene coming when I saw it.
Mhm.
But when I was watching that scene, and then he turns and looks at what's her name, Carrie Mulligan, I think is her
Yes,
name.
Carrie Mulligan.
When he because before he smashes that guy's head in, first he kisses her. It's the first time he's
Mhm.
kissing her. Then he exposes what's really going on the inside in him. And it's that moment when he smashes that guy's head in, like, you're threatening the woman I love, so I'm going to kill you. But she also sees, like, she loves him, she's gravitated towards him, but she can see that there's a really bad monster, this rageful person inside of him. He's like, I heard Wind and Refn refer to that as like morphing into the Wolfman at that moment.
Hmm.
And it was that specific because as I've been there where I've had like really terrible rage problems and anger problems, but I'm also in love at the same time. And it's like those two feelings feel so opposite, but yet they kind of feed one another.
Yeah.
And at the same time, with him being this empty guy, I felt like I was a very empty person at the time, and it also got me on a path of just binge watching a lot of Ryan Gosling movies.
So that's when you went back and watched Half Nelson
It's exactly the
and
first
Lars
movie I
and the
watched.
Real
That's
Girl.
exactly what I did. Is it all of those are on Netflix? Half Nelson, Lars and the Real Girl. I even watched like some bad ones, like All Good Things.
All good things.
Another
All good
movie with
things.
positive words. That's a terribly depressing film.
That's about Robert Durst. If
Yeah,
you watched The Jinx, you should watch All Good Things,
is
which came
Jinx the
out first.
documentary?
The HBO like mini series
Oh,
on
okay.
him.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
did the director do the same one?
No. I
Okay.
believe the director of the Jinx also did the free Meet the Freemans. I don't
Meet the
remember.
Fockers.
No, 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 no. This is like a documentary about
Yeah,
some pedophiles. So
meet the
yeah,
Fock.
you know. Okay, so gosh,
And
there's a lot to unpack. What when you have feelings of rage, what does that look like, and how do you calm yourself?
I didn't learn that till not I would say like a little over a year ago.
Okay.
Honestly, if I see now, I'm at a point where I feel comfortable talking about it because I've
Okay.
learned how to calm down now.
Yes.
Uh, uh, Rage is not. There's three states. I've had to go to anger management.
Okay.
Never talked about this online. But there's three stages of anger. You got anger, which can be good if you know how to properly use it.
Hmm.
Then you got aggression, and then you got rage. And I was so quick to going from anger, from like getting angry. I don't know how to express it, and so then I would just explode and go into rage.
Hmm.
And I get very insulting. I get very mean. I yell. I've broken stuff. I've never like physically hurt someone out of rage, but I've definitely broken a lot of things out of rage.
Hmm.
And I would just explode. My dad was a very rageful guy. He's like the rageaholic was the term. And what was your second part to that
How do
question?
you calm yourself when you find that you are like, uh oh, I'm getting worked up now?
Well, the best tip I got from my therapist was measuring your anger on a number scale.
Kind of like when you're at the doctor and they have the happy faces of pain.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit.
Okay.
It's like a lot of times when you're just practicing mindfulness, like oftentimes if I meditate, I'll be like, I feel tension in my shoulders, and I'm just
Hmm.
acknowledging it, and then eventually the tension goes away because I've just accepted that I have tension in my
Okay.
shoulders. And that's kind of the same thing with anger to a little bit more intense extent, where if I'm like I'm at a level 5 right now of anger, I'm at a level 5, and eventually you just start to calm down, and also figuring out why you're angry, and also being able to be mindful and aware of when you're angry. Try, do it's the thing is when you get angry, stuff like mechanisms go off in your brain that cloud a lot of things. And so it's important when you get angry to acknowledge why are you really angry, because anger is a secondary emotion. There's always
Mm.
a primary reason. Oftentimes anger is a blockage expression of hurt, feeling hurt.
Right.
Like a girl can break my heart, and then I get angry, but really I just need to tell her you're hurting my feelings.
Mm.
But oftentimes guys will resort to anger. Bottle it up.
Yeah,
So
which
yeah,
isn't a good thing to do. The other day, we have this book. Yeah, it's called When I'm Angry
interesting.
because it has a little bunny on it. I would go get it right now. If I had a little, if Ben were here managing the soundboard, I would send him upstairs to find it. But
What's it called again?
it's called When I'm
When
Angry,
I'm angry.
and it
Okay.
has a bunny on the front. And I wanted to read it to my daughter because she was angry earlier in the day, and she didn't want to confront that. So
Mm.
she just like ripped the book out of my hands
Ooh.
and was about to rip it.
Ooh.
And I
That's
was like, "See, this is why we
this
need
is
to
why you
read
need to read the
the
book.
book." You
That's
don't get it.
ironic.
I was just like, you know what? Why don't we read your good night yoga book or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Because she has this yoga book that's like good night. I think it's called Good Night Yoga, but I don't
Okay.
know. But so then we
How old's
did
your
that.
daughter?
She's 6.
6. Okay.
She's 6 years old, and so yes, we went into good night yoga, which was my other Hail Mary, because I was like, why don't we get your yoga mat out and we'll do the yoga in
Okay.
the good night yoga book. Because that'll calm you. I
Yeah.
was like, and maybe later I'll introduce the angry book, but not tonight. We'll do that another time.
Oh,
So,
that's
but she
funny.
does have anger situations that I'm like, are we gonna need a counselor? We might. We might.
It can be scary, man. Anger can be very
Hmm.
very dangerous.
But I like how you say that it's the secondary emotion. So
Yeah.
we need to tap into What's the
What's the
primary?
primary emotion?
Mm-hmm.
It's a I feel like for a guy, I can't. I mean, I feel like we're all individuals, but I feel like speaking on for guys, for example,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of times guys they're I feel like it's in California at least. I've been in other
Mm-hmm.
parts of America where it's not like this. But for guys in California, I feel like we've all become a little more sensitive out here.
Maybe.
You know,
Yes.
I feel like
It's a
hearing
little more progressive in
yeah,
California.
hearing people talking about going to therapy. I hear more guys and girls are going to therapy now more than
Mm-hmm.
ever now. Out in California, I went to Colorado. It's not really a common thing out there. So
Mm-hmm.
out here, you know, people are sensitive, and a lot of the times, especially with guys growing up, it usually is like just feeling hurt by something, and then we don't want to feel it, so we block it with anger. It's like it could be
Mm-hmm.
crying or feeling sad, and I think that's why when we're grieving, anger is the second stage of grief, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because it's a good strong enough emotion to mask whatever it is you're really feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And but oftentimes though it can come from I don't know, something about drive though. Bringing it back to the movie talk, something about
You know.
drive where I have a hard time pinpointing it, but he was angry at that. He smashed that guy's in out
Yeah.
of rage because he loves this girl.
Yes.
And it's because so some in a way it's like maybe you might interpret that as it's a good thing he has a rage problem because he was able to protect her in that moment.
Hmm.
At the same time though, she sees what he's really capable of on the
Right.
inside, you know. But then again, you know, in a movie
He
that's
could.
badass and
That's why he kissed her first because he's like, "This is my
yeah,
only opportunity
this
because I'm gonna do this, and then that's probably gonna be it for
I think
us."
that's why I identify with it because I wasn't good at expressing the stages of anger. I would just block it and then rage would come out. And I think
Yeah.
that's why I identify
Huh.
with that moment because he does something sensitive. He kisses her and it's the first time he's kissing her and he looks at her and suddenly he's rageful, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like it's just a switch right there. So yeah, that's at the same time, you know, you see him in the movie, he's a nice guy. He's not like De Niro in Raging Bull, where you're like, this guy's always mean, he's always in a fit of rage. It's that character who's sensitive and nice, and that's how people perceive me in general. But then when I would get rageful, it would be like, "Whoa, who are you now?" And that's kind of
Yeah.
what how Ryan Gosling was sort of perceived in that moment. So yeah, that's why Drob's on my list.
There we go. Let's go to the next movie. But before we do it, Laura says sexism works both ways. If you don't let little boys experience sadness without embarrassment, you get angry little boys.
You can't be racist against white people.
That too. But yeah, I totally get that. And my son cries all the time, and I'm like, all right, buddy,
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on now, but go ahead, let it out
yeah.
all the
I
time.
nelet tell someone don't cry.
Yeah,
I
I
never.
never say that either.
I'm like, no, they don't cry. They're just gonna bottle it up. Let them cry. Yeah, it's a good
I was
thing you
like,
have that with
your
your
turn
kids.
will be next. It's okay, but all right, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
One day he'll stop crying, maybe. But yeah, I never am like, don't cry or suck it up or
Yeah,
anything like that.
that's what guys
Never
get
done
told
that.
a lot.
I'm
They
sure
do.
they do,
They
which
do.
is sad.
I know, but hey, we care to be successful or something.
All
Whatever
right,
that encompasses. Yeah.
let's get into your third movie that means something important to you.
Sure, sure. Let me go to my list really quick. Okay, which one should I go with? This one or this one? I feel like I talked about this movie,
Okay,
but then like American Graffiti touches on the same
sure,
subject of
sure.
you know what?
Whatever you want. You call an
Well, you know,
audible.
we're keeping a lot of the theme with being loved today.
Okay, great.
You know, I feel like I've talked about 8 Mile on here, how it's an inspirational tale. I'm going to talk about American Graffiti. That's another
Yes.
movie I saw when I was really young. And with the
Yeah.
theme of love, I'll keep it. This did you see American Graffiti?
I've seen American Graffiti. It's been a minute.
It's been a
I
while.
don't
Yeah.
remember when I saw it for the first time. There was a lot of driving. Suzanne Summers
Yeah,
was in there. Suzanne Summers, hey. Um and there was a
oh,
DJ,
Richard Dreyfuss,
Richard Dreyfuss,
Harrison
Harrison Ford.
Ford.
Great. I love it. I love it.
That was the first
Mel's Diner.
Mel's Diner,
I feel
man.
like maybe that's why we have Mel's Diner.
Yeah, I thought it was a '50s movie. I mean, it's based in the '50s, but it was like made in the '70s or something or
Mm,
'60s, one
mhm.
of those eras. Um, yeah, American Graffiti impacted me in a lot of ways. Like in terms of filmmaking, I love the idea of like it all takes place in one night into the next morning, and it's
Yes.
a very specific contained time frame and a specific time in people's lives. And there's another movie I saw when I think I was in junior high,
Mhm.
so I didn't have a high school life, and I didn't watch Happy Days growing up,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
this
this is kind of Happy Days esque.
yeah. So and Ron Howard's in the movie too.
Yeah.
And it was my exposure to like what it might have been like to be a high school kid in the 50s and stuff. So and I love all the different personalities combined. I just thought it was a great film. There was a very specific moment that stood out to me though, because the whole movie, Ron Howard and his chick are having problems.
Hmm.
He's gonna go off to college and they're having tension with each other. Maybe they should just break up. And towards the end, if you guys haven't seen American Graffiti, gonna slightly spoil the movie for you. The movie's really about the journey anyway.
Most movies are about the
Yeah, and there's
journey.
so many characters. I'm just telling you about one character here. When there's gonna what's that the race car when guys race with their cars?
Drag racing.
Drag racing.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
it's
yeah.
called.
Yeah. When the drag racing's going on, Ron Howard's girlfriend is in Harrison Ford's vehicle,
Uh-huh.
and then Ron Howard's looking for her. I don't know why this moment just stood out to me so strong. It's like a core memory of mine where the car crashes and then Ron Howard shows up right at that moment. He starts chasing after her, concerned and worried.
Hmm.
And it was the first time, and I've seen movies where characters are in love before and all this stuff, but it was the first movie ever where I felt that level of love.
Hmm.
I started to grasp at a very young age what love can be like in that very moment when Ron Howard's chasing after her, like feeling like he messed up, he needs to get her,
Hmm.
and then she might be dead right now. I need to go grab her. It was so brief in the movie. It's not even like a really touched upon scene, but when it happens, it it did strike me with this feeling of like I want to be that kind of guy. I want to be like a
Right.
loving boyfriend. I want to be the kind of guy who will go there to save my girl because Ron Howard looks like much weaker than the people who were drag racing, but he's still running in
Sure.
there brave to try to save her. And that moment really did hit my heart a lot in terms of wanting to be I guess what I wanted when I was younger was a relationship. Based
Aw.
off of all these
You were
movies
ready at that
I
time. You're
was
like, I
ready.
need a
I
girlfriend.
wanted to be the Ron Howard protector of a Carrie. That's what
There
I've
you go.
gathered from this film
Oh my
therapy
goodness,
session.
we have come full
We
circle.
have
The
made
Ron Howard
That's what
protector
therapy is
of
all
Carrie.
about. Yes, coming to these
Always coming
realizations.
to full circle.
And then and also that like if someone messes with my girl, smash their head and like Ryan
There
Gosling.
you go. One, two, three.
One,
We've
two,
connected
three.
all
We
three
connected
films.
all three. Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Want to say hey to Rachel. What's up, girl? Thanks for
Rachel.
joining us. Rachel Cushing.
Rachel Cushing's here. Hey,
Ah!
Rachel.
We're gonna I crush it. I'm like, I can't do it.
Rachel's
anyways.
adorable.
She's the best.
Like
The
I
best.
feel like on the Schmodown she comes across like tough. She
Mhm.
is.
She's
I
tough.
wouldn't mess with her. She's from Boston, but she is like. But off camera, she's like just this really adorable, goofy personality. She is a nerd. I love that about
We
her.
need a bit more
Yeah,
behind the scenes.
yeah,
With
we do.
Rachel. With
We do.
Rachel.
She's awesome.
Okay, so we talked about three films that are important to Greg. The first one was Carrie, the second one was Drive, and the third one, American Graffiti.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Almost, I was like, one title, one word title, one word title,
And two word.
and
Yeah.
two word.
One
We
plus one
weren't
equals three.
one
Two.
plus one equals two. We made it. We made it. Ah. So I want to know. Here's another thing. We had talked about this at the beginning. If you don't have anything to share, you don't have to share anything. Any problems going on that I can prescribe you a movie for?
Yeah, I can't get to bed on time.
Okay, you can't get to bed on time. Maybe watch
The theme of
Flatliners.
this, the
Old school
the
Flatliners.
90s, 91,
Yeah, why not?
the 1990 version.
Hmm.
Really? That'll put me to sleep.
I mean, I don't know if I'll put you to sleep, but it's about dying.
I've, I've
So playing with death.
really,
Mm.
really flatliner. Interesting.
That's just the first thing that came to my head. I was like, movies you could watch Insomnia.
I feel like it'll
Maybe
keep.
that'll help.
I feel like those movies like keep me up.
I feel like the movie Insomnia is going to give you some good tips, like getting blackout curtains.
Yeah. Oh, I use a sleeping mask now. That
Oh,
helps. And I also
okay.
have a breathing mask because I have whatever it's called, sleep
Yeah, sleep
apnea.
apnea.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. You got to
Yeah.
get that distilled water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just use hot water.
Oh, you
That's
boil that first?
sometimes. And
Wait, if you don't boil it, you don't you have to boil it?
I think so.
It's kind of like a neti pot. Like you have to boil it first.
Look, you make great points.
I just want to
I
make
just
sure that
don't
you're
know if
not
I
going to
stick to
die
that.
of some sort of water disease. I'm a little worried right now. I'm gonna prescribe you insomnia, and maybe that will help you with some tips.
You're gonna prescribe me some intense films to keep me up late at night.
Yep, that's right.
Some gripping piece
Thank
of
you so
fiction.
much, Greg, for coming on the show again and doing a different format. And I want you guys to let us know what you think of this format, if this is something I should continue with people that have been on before. So
Interesting.
there you go. And the movie prescription. Obviously, I'm very proud of that.
Do you have a
Very proud of
problem
that.
I can prescribe you,
Okay.
doctor?
My problem is my daughter won't let me read the anger book to her.
Okay,
I need a movie we can both watch.
I would prescribe. Oh boy,
Whoa,
a little
whoa.
girl. I would prescribe Passion of the Christ.
Okay. Okay.
That'll make her sad and fall asleep, and
That
then
will.
she'll confess her sins to God.
Okay. That sounds good to
And
me.
from my understanding, he takes away all her anger. Right?
He will. He will.
No, don't watch that with your daughter.
My kids are really into the Sandlot right now. I didn't realize I would be introducing them to
Ah.
some bad words, but you know
Ah.
what? You forget about those
Those
things.
PG
You
movies
forget
back
about those
then.
things
Yeah.
when you are older and you're like, "Oh, I forgot that this movie says shit a few times." Like,
Yeah.
oh well.
Oh no, man. Movies back then that are like PG, you're like, whoa,
Here you go. Jeffrey Von Gerp says prescribe Inside Out.
that's a good one.
That is good.
That's a
You're
great
right. And
one.
you know what? We should watch that because we walked out of Inside Out 5 minutes in for a few different reasons. The
Why?
reason was we had already been there for over 35, 40 minutes. And like when you put a short film before a kids movie and you already have like 10 previews before that, it's a big problem for kids that young.
I
They're
never
like,
thought
I've
about
been
that.
sitting here this entire time. And no one got her
That's
popcorn that time.
hilarious.
And that like keeps her occupied. And grandma was like, I'm not buying her popcorn. I was like, well, this is gonna be a problem. But that's okay.
Oh man, I
Anyways.
never thought about
So
that problem.
we'll watch Inside Out. I think we own it too. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that teaches you how to. It doesn't
does
teach you how to
help,
deal with anger.
but it has the little anger
But
guy.
it has an anger character in there.
Look,
But
this
they
is
make
what's going on.
anger looks appealing in that movie, so it'll actually get your daughter more angry. Yeah.
Maybe. Where can everyone find you?
They can find me in Sherman Oaks, California.
Okay.
Just walk the streets.
It's pretty nice
I'll
there.
be there.
Billy D lives there too.
Billy D?
Yeah, Billy D.
DeFranco?
Yeah.
He does?
You gotta just walk around, see if you can find him.
No, then he'll like give his opinion about me. I don't want that. Yeah, I am at the Real Rejects on YouTube, and we have a Twitter and Instagram at the Real Rejects, but I don't really use that. My buddy John really uses those. You can find me at the Greg Alba on Instagram and Twitter, where you can see my weight loss photo.
Yeah, you're
you
doing
like it?
good.
Did
You're
you like
doing
my
great.
photo?
I liked
I'm
it.
proud of it.
I'm proud of you.
We should play the last time I was on here.
Oh,
And see
side
how
by
it doesn't
side.
look all that different in the face. But in
No,
the
but I
body
noticed.
shot. Well,
I
thank you.
definitely noticed.
I appreciate that.
You can find me all day, every day on Twitter at Miss Movies, and yeah, that's it. Maybe on the Schmodown coming up. I don't know. Oh, movie fights. I'm doing that in 2 weeks.
You're doing movie fights?
Yeah.
You're doing like the actual movie fights?
Yeah.
Are you nervous?
No, mainly
No.
because I just haven't really thought about it. I'm
Oh,
just kind of like,
I watch every episode of movie fights.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. I went on once years ago.
I remember. I watched you.
Sucked. And I didn't really watch movie fights that much at the time.
Mm.
And now I've watched it all the time in preparation in case I ever get invited back. It's been 2 years, still have not gotten invited
I
back.
will put your name in.
Put my name in
This
because
is my first time
I
doing
really think I could kick serious butt in the movie
Okay.
fights now. I could
Okay.
give you some tips. We could prep fights together
We can.
because they give you the options beforehand and you hear what they're going to
I will screenshot it to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you next time. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.